morning, Quadcopter 101 here, and today's shout out goes to Micro Helicopters. Micro Helicopters was first to say first in one of my recent videos, and thus wins this shout out, so congratulations. Good morning, Quadcopter 101 here, with a review of something really neat. I actually like this a lot, folks. This is a lot of fun. I've been playing with it a bit. This is the Just Air, also known as Diatone, Q25 car kit. Okay, what is the Q25? Well, if you look at it, let me just bring it up. This is the main thing itself here. This is the Q25 car. It's available in many different colors, but what's special about it is it does come with an FPV version. There is a non-FPV version, which I don't see why anybody would be interested, because this one is cool. Okay, with a little FPV camera on top. This enables you to run it around your house or run it around a car track that you can set up yourself and actually race other people with it. This is actually a very nice car. Okay, now this came out last year. There was another version that came out. It was called the Q33, which was an early version of this car. This has a lot of improvements since last year's car. Mainly it comes with a much better controller. We'll talk about that controller here shortly, along with improved steering. The other one had some problems with had some steering issues. This one here, you can get it to steer pretty straight, you know, because this does finally have steering trim and easily accessed and adjusted steering trim on this controller to adjust for the car. Now let's talk about the car. It's a very it's very nicely done, nicely made. Feels like high precision instrument, folks, is what I'm trying to say here. Now with this car, it has full featured lighting. It has headlights. It has tail lights, turn signal lights, brake lights, ambient lights on the bottom. You know, all the lights you want, you know, for indoor driving at night. Okay, it makes it look really cool. It is powered, and you can see it right there, by a little 610 cordless motor. Okay, it is rear drive system with a worm gear transmission. Now, what does that mean, folks? Since it's got a worm gear, you do not want to force these back wheels forward and back, or else you will strip those gears. Okay, don't go zoom, zoom, zoom like that. You know, like those little I can't remember what those are called, but where you spin them up and they build up kinetic energy and they go flying off on their own. Don't do that with this car. You will strip these gears, okay? So don't do that. Other things about it, okay, I mentioned it's rear drive. It does have a front suspension system on it, okay? Little springs that move up and down, along with proportional steering. There's a actual servo in here to provide very precise steering of this little car when you take it out. It is charged through a USB-C charging port. Now you can charge this either using a wall charger, your computer, or even the controller, and I'll discuss that here shortly. You can charge it through the controller too. So that's pretty neat too about this particular car. Now the switch on it, it has an on-off switch right here for turning it on, or if you hold it down, quick press turns it off. Or if you hold it down for 2 seconds, it puts it into bind mode. And if you lose bind with the controller, there's a way to rebind it easily by holding that button down for 2 seconds, and then holding this button down on the controller, and then it will bind to the car. But normally you don't need to do that unless it doesn't bind. Okay. It has an FPV camera. Now this FPV camera is not very powerful. Okay, it's only 4 channels. So that means you can drive up to 4 cars, I believe, with this particular, you know, simultaneously with this. So you can race against 3 other components. I think it's 4, maybe it's 5. But it's very low power. Okay, they're saying it's 2 watt. I believe it's 2 milliwatt power. It has only a 30-meter range on this. And the reason why it's such low power is because the battery in this is it's not a large battery. I think it's like 110 milliamp per hour. You don't want to drain that tiny little battery that powers this car, because it'll greatly reduce your drive time. Now with this camera on, that gives you about 20 minutes of drive time, and then predicting if you turn the camera off, and you can't turn the camera off, you can get much greater drive time, up to 60 minutes. I find that hard to believe, but that's what I've seen advertised with this so far. Now, being a precision car, you don't want to get this gummed up, okay? What I'm saying is, keep this off of carpet. Drive it on nice, smooth, clean surfaces. Nothing with dog hair. You don't want to get dog hair in inside this, especially inside the gears. So try to keep this in a nice clean area where you're driving it, okay? Clean up the area, either sweep it or wipe it down, folks. You don't want to gum up the gears on this little car, okay? Although you can buy a separate car separately, okay, because this comes in many different versions. Okay, let's talk about the controller. Now, I mentioned this is greatly improved over the Q33. The Q33 had the most basic controller. This is not a basic controller. This is very nicely done, actually, to tell you the truth. Now, it is powered. Let's talk about the power on this. It can be powered either by a 18650 battery, which I don't have right now, or it can be powered by 3 AA batteries. And the one I got came with this battery holder for this, so that you can use 3 AAA batteries. Now, this also has the capability of charging the car through this USB port, Type-C USB port, using this adapter that they provide you with. You plug it into there, then you plug in the car. I ain't going to do that right now, but you plug in the car into the port and then turn on the controller, and it will charge it. Now, if you do that, I recommend using rechargeable batteries in this, either rechargeable AA's or using that rechargeable 18650, because you know, using standard batteries, that probably will drain those batteries very quickly, charging that little car with this. So just a heads up there. Now, what are the improvements over this? Again, I mentioned the original was very basic. It had an on-off switch, it had a steering wheel, it had throttle, and the controller did have capability of steering trim, but it was really difficult. You had to press a button and turn it on, I believe, and then adjust it accordingly. This one here actually has steering trim buttons for left and right, so it makes it much easier to center that car steering so you can get straight driving with it. It also has throttle dual rate, okay, so throttle up and throttle down here, so for high power and low power driving. Now, as a beginner, you know, as you're getting used to this car, I recommend you put it in low power, because the high power option, this car is really fast and it gets really difficult to steer at high speeds. So, you know, while you're just playing around with it, I recommend keeping it in low speed. Again, this is your on-off switch here. Again, this is for charging. This is for charging the car. Do not try to charge that 18650 battery or those nickel metal hydrides if you use rechargeables in this through this port. The voltage goes this way only. Don't push the voltage into it. I think you might damage it, actually, if you try to charge it with that. So that's not meant for charging the battery in the controller. Just a heads up there, folks. Other buttons on this. This is for turning on and off the headlights. This is for adjusting the ambient lighting. It has like many different colors, I believe. Like 5 different colors of the ambient lighting that comes out of the bottom of this. Very colorful. We'll show that when we drive it downstairs here. But you adjust it through that. You can turn the FPV system off on the car if you want to drive without the FPV. It gives you much greater drive time if you do such, because, you know, again, that camera is draining power from the battery of the car. So you can turn off the FPV for longer drive time. And finally, this switch here is for, again, for binding the car. If you lose bind on the car, by pressing that button down, it puts the controller into bind mode. And I mentioned the steering dual rates, and here's the, it's got an ergonomic, they call this ergonomic steering. It's not flat against the side, it's at an angle, so it makes it, actually feels pretty good while you're driving it with the way it's tilted in that direction. And of course, this is your throttle for going forward and braking and going in reverse, like so. So that is the controller. It comes with this nice controller. And finally, the goggle system for the FPV version. Now, these goggles, many of you out there will notice that these are very familiar because they are rebranded versions of the Beta FPV VR01. It's identical, okay, identical goggles. So I guess Just Air or Diatone or whatever company got a nice batch of those Beta FPVs and then included it with their FPV version. And these aren't shabby goggles at all, actually. If you like box goggles, I do. They're more or less for people that are nearsighted. If you're farsighted, you're going to have problems with this. But nearsighted folks or folks with perfect vision should be able to use this with no problem. What I like about it, though, is it does have a built-in DVR recorder. So you can actually record the video from the car while you're driving it. You know, it makes it fun. And I'm going to include that when we go downstairs to drive it. Thing about it is these goggles have 40 channels, includes bands A, B, D, E, and race band. It has a 4.8 or 4.3 inch screen inside there with resolution of 800 by 480 pixels, along with a Fresnel lens or Fresnel lens. I don't know how you pronounce it. I'm going to look that one up. Fresnel or Fresnel. But anyways, it's a magnifying lens on the front here. It makes it very easy to see the screen. And it actually looks really nice when you're driving this car. It's very clear. I was surprised how clear it is with these particular goggles. Okay, I mentioned it is capable of recording, and you can record in VGA, D1, or HD resolution. That's 720p resolution for HD at 30 frames per second. And let's see, what other things about it? This, you know, being FPV goggles, these can be used with FPV racers or other drones that use analog FPV systems, okay? It cannot be used, though, with FPV drones that use digital systems, such as those that use your phone to view the video. This will not work with those type of drones, so keep that in mind, folks. This only works with mainly FPV racer drones, so keep that in mind. Okay, other things. What do we got in the package? Let's talk over what you get in the package, what comes in the box, okay? Again, I got the FPV version, the full FPV version kit, and what comes in the box with this is a nice stack of stickers for the different colored versions of this. By the way, I'm not sure what is the name of this company. It's Just Air, or it's Diatone, or if it's Sniclo. And in fact, that's what's on the controller is Sniclo, but it has different names. Okay, we're going to go with Just Air for now. So, and you get the instruction manual, and it comes in Chinese and English. Pretty good instruction manual, although the type is rather small. I have to use a magnifying lens to read it with my old eyes, but that's okay. Other things you get cables for the goggles, charging cable. By the way, these are charged through a micro USB port right there. So I recommend using a 2 amp wall charger for this, because this has a 2000 milliampere hour battery. Pretty big battery in there. Now these goggles do have a speaker, or you can use headphones with this, although the car itself does not have a microphone, so the recordings that you get through of the car with this or just have static for the noise, so keep that in mind. Also, you get a bunch of cables with the goggles. You know, I mentioned the charging cable, and you get a video cable if you want video output from this. You can record it separately on a different VCR if you got such, which I do, by the way. Other things you get charging cables for the car, along with this little charging adapter that works again with the controller. You get a really nice little keychain. I like this little keychain that comes with this for this, you know, Just Air keychain. You get the controller. You get a nice display case for the car. The car fits in there if you want to use that, and the box. So that's what comes in the box. Let's take it down into my basement test drive facility this time and see how it drives. So hope you enjoy this drive. Good morning, Quadcopter 101 here. Welcome to the Quadcopter 101 indoor test drive facility for the test drive of the Q25. Okay, to turn this on, we need to hit that on-off switch in the back right, that little button right there. There we go. It's on, and it's blinking, and it's looking for the transmitter. And then we turn on the transmitter. And it should automatically connect, and it does. Okay, while we're here, let me show you these headlights and these backlights too. First off, we got ambient lighting. We got orange. Let's see what other colors we got here. I'm pressing the wrong button, obviously. That's the headlight button. Okay, let's look at the ambient lighting. There's one color, red, purple, blue, green, blue or cyan, and orange again. So those are the different backlights. Also, you can adjust the headlights, turning the headlights on and off, like so. I'm going to turn them all the way up. Now, these headlights aren't really bright enough for you to see indoors, folks, or at night. Okay, they are just mainly for decoration purposes. So let's keep that in mind. Okay, now I'm going to turn on the goggles here by hitting the on-off switch. And we do have signal, as you can see here, I hope, showing in the camera. So that's the signal. And I'm also going to hit the record button at this time, or else I'll forget in the future. And is it recording? I'm looking for it to start blinking. Okay, it's blinking, so it's recording now. So putting the goggles on, and let's take it for a test drive around the test facility here. Let me get in my chair, pick up my controller, adjust the goggles on my face, and we're going to start out slow here. Just to get a feel for the car. Going around the track one time. Now, I have to say, this is a lot of fun. This actually is a lot of fun, this little car, as you can probably guess. I'm just amazed that they can come up with a little package like this, and it actually works. Okay, that you can actually do some racing with this thing. Okay. For those of you out there, you can race up to 4 different cars with this. So this would make for an interesting race. Oops, I hit that. I don't want to go off the table. So, okay. Now, they do come with jumps. I forgot to mention, they came with these 2 jumps for the car. But the problem is that the grip on the tires doesn't really work well on these jumps. So you really need to get a good run before you actually impact the jump, or else it just doesn't do it. It doesn't make it over the jump because the wheels will spin on the jump. So let me get that car while we're here. If I can reach it. Got it. Putting it back on the pad, or not on the jacuzzi or the hot tub, and taking off again. Now I want to check my steering. I need a little bit right now. I can tell you I need a little bit of right trim. So let me find the steering trim and press one time right. Okay, see if that fixes it. I hit the stop button. No, I didn't. Need to hit it again. So trying a little more right trim. There we go. That's better. Okay, so now it's working. So yeah, the Q33, last year's Q33 did not have an easy trim button. It had trim, but it wasn't easy to do. This one here, all you do is hit a button. One of the buttons to trim it. Steering trim. Coming around. Okay, let's see if I can make it around this course without hitting anything. So yeah, I would love to race this against other people. This would be a lot of fun. Let's go the other way. Let's see if I can go clockwise around this course. Now, those of you wondering what these houses are, these are from my past Christmases. Something of about 30, 40, 50 years old. These little houses here, these are from my childhood, folks. Those got to be at least 50 years old. Closer to 60. And so are these. So they're pretty darn old. Oh man, this is fun. Whoop, whoop. Oh, I really want to race against somebody. I wish they would have sent me 2 of these. This would have been great, doing a race. But then again, I don't know. I'd have to race against my daughter, and she's not into this kind of stuff. And here's my wife. She wouldn't be doing this either. My dog might, though. Actually, my dog loves this thing. She wants to eat it. She almost got it already. Oh, I'm getting faster at this. Now, speaking of speed, you probably want to keep it in low rate, what I'm doing, like what I'm doing right here, because high rate, it gets a little bit wonky. Let's go to high and see. Let me find that high button. Speed button, where are you? It's all on this side. Okay, I'm in high rate now. Let's see if I can control it in high rate. I don't know. It's kind of... Wow. I guess you can control it. Still control it in high rate. It's just you got to be careful with that throttle because it moves. And this is one quarter throttle. Only 1/4 throttle, and it's a little bit too fast. Let's get away from the edge there. Okay, I'm going to go to lower, reducing it. I did reduce it, right? No, I went the wrong way. Okay, that should reduce it. Did I reduce it? I don't know. So coming around. So yeah, the Q25, this is something that's amazing, okay? You know, when I was first amazed when they came out with the drones and then put cameras on them that you could actually see. But, you know, they were lacking in terms of cars, you know, FPV cars. Yeah, and then they eventually did come out with FPV cars. I've seen them. But this is on another scale, you know, this micro FPV. That makes it something you can do indoors, like micro FPV drones. Especially during the winter months, like right now. Trying to keep it going. Can I keep going? Oh, I hit another one. Okay, let's go clockwise again. I seem to do better when I drive clockwise for some reason. Let's pull it right up to the camera here. There's another camera. I got several cameras today. Let's see if it's there. Okay, there's my little M20 camera. I like that little M20. It's a great little camera. I use it as a hat camera a lot. That and my old Mobius camera. Whoa, can he control it? So, yeah, this thing supposedly can go for 20 minutes. I'm not going to do the full 20 minutes. But yeah, it's got a lot of, I can feel it has a lot of power still. So, and if you turn off the camera, you can actually go for close to an hour. That's amazing if that's true. I don't have the time to do that, though. So we're going to call quits here shortly. Let's bring it up to the camera. First say, notice I'm not wearing a tie-dye today, folks, so sorry I can't say, wow, you got my shirt today. But I can wave to you. Wait, where are you guys at? There. How do you like my Transformer shirt today? So, okay, we'll pull it up to the camera and give you final thoughts here. Okay, let me first off, no, I'll keep it recording. So, neat little car. Got a bit. Neat little car. I like it. It's a lot of fun. It really is. And again, you can actually race other people with this. So if you're considering something for a Christmas gift, this would be awesome. I guarantee whoever gets this would love it. So this is Quadcopter 101. I hope you enjoyed this test drive. Quadcopter 101, signing out. Hi, Quadcopter 101 here again. Hey, if you want to get your own shout out in one of my future videos, make sure you subscribe to my channel. It's real simple. Just go to my channel page and click on that subscribe. And also make sure to click that bell button right next to the subscribe button. That way you get notified when I release a brand new video immediately and give you a chance to get that first shout out. So give it a try, folks.